It's very common for people to go through Kundalini experiences, Kundalini arousal, not the complete rewiring of their body by this process, but a brief jolt of Kundalini that can last seconds, minutes, or sometimes days, weeks, or months. If they don't know what to do with it, very frequently there are side effects if they allow their body to go out of balance. Those side effects are called Kundalini syndrome. Also, if their body was energetically or emotionally or nutritionally out of balance ahead of time, and they started to try to instigate Kundalini, or if they spontaneously started to go through a Kundalini experience, very frequently the fact that the body's meridians are not running their energy in a balanced way, the body's metabolism, if it's not completely in balance to begin with or reasonably in balance, will go out of balance very rapidly. Kundalini has the effect of amplifying everything that you're experiencing, at least during the initial stages of Kundalini. And as a result, you can very quickly amplify any existing bad habits that you have, emotional bad habits, nutritional bad habits, metabolic bad habits. So this question that Dustin is asking is a very common one and a very good question. Once again, he said, once one is experiencing a very strong flow of Kundalini through the body, and sometimes experiencing adrenal fatigue, how do you make things run smoothly? Adrenal fatigue, unfortunately, is common amongst a lot of energy practitioners who try to bring energy up, whether they're bringing up Kundalini or just working with breath energy, chi or prana. One of the most important things that you can learn to do that is not often clarified in some of the Kundalini traditions, especially some of the ones from India, is that you have to sync the chi, sync the prana in the body. Even while energy is going up through the central channel or going up through the spine, they're not the same, they're different. A lot of people seek an upward rising energy, which is usually associated with the metaphor of fire or the element of fire among the 5 element practices that are done in many traditions. So this rising, sometimes hot energy going up through the body. Well, like any form of fire, if you use a little bit of fire, it can provide light, it can cook, it can cause wonderful alchemical changes that make food juicier and tastier. But if you turn it up too high, the flame consumes everything. It completely turns whatever you're cooking into a cinder, into ash. It doesn't taste good anymore. It's not of much use to anyone. It's not really a biological system anymore. It's just become something that's dried up, brittle, uncomfortable, doesn't smell good, doesn't taste good. And although it's just a metaphor that I'm using, and a metaphor that's been used throughout the ages, if you turn up that particular rising energy in the body too high, it is the energy of intensity, the energy of the fight or flight response. If that's turned on too high for too long, you literally dry out your body. You heat yourself up. You're quite frequently running a temperature. Your brain is actually at a hotter temperature than it normally would be, and that doesn't make for a cool head, so to speak. We use metaphors like that in English, cool-headedness, coolness under pressure, for a reason. Ideally, you want most of your body's heat or warmth to be in your belly, in your lower belly, and you want that to be in balance. You want your chest region to be a little bit cooler than that, maybe warm, and you want your brain matter to stay pretty cool. If you are bringing a lot of intent and intensity to try to get that upward surge of energy, which can be very addictive. After all, adrenaline is a part of that. It's a part of what's happening. People who are adrenaline junkies and want to feel this intensity, it feels great in a short burst, especially feels great in a short burst if you then relax your body back down again before the next time that you adrenalize yourself. It's not so good for your body if you adrenalize and you don't do anything to get rid of the byproducts of the intensity, adrenaline, the fight or flight response. Your body will end up with a ton of cortisol and probably lactate in your bloodstream. And over time, that's going to cause not only adrenal fatigue, but it's going to cause what the Chinese call dryness of the liver, or brittleness of the liver. It's going to make you more impatient, more judgmental with other people and with yourself, more irritable, quite possibly snappish. You'll snap at other people and get very upset when they interrupt your meditation. Meditation, ideally, should balance one more than make one uptight about needing to meditate more. So, if any of those things are being experienced in terms of physical symptoms or in terms of personality symptoms, if you become unusually peckish, unusually irritable or judgmental, unusually prideful in a negative way, all of those things, if you keep them up, are going to lead to more discomfort, both in your own body and in your interpersonal relationships. So Dustin's question is, what do you do about it? Well, you learn to relax more. That's the basic, the most basic answer. There's lots of different techniques in different traditions for balancing the energy in the body, but some method of both burning off the adrenaline, burning off the excess cortisol through physical activity, not mental activity, or using the endocrine system and the emotions to transmute that adrenaline into a different form or state of the body, and that's a possibility too. Specifically, your thymus gland, that nice little gland that sits on top of your heart, that when it's pumping out hormones gives you warm, fuzzy feelings of love and bonding with other individuals or with your baby or your puppy dog or whoever you see that gives you that feeling. Those hormones are the hormones that cause your body to go out of fight or flight response, and it actually causes your body to metabolize the cortisol in a good way and get rid of it. So that's another way that you can do it. So the first one is physical exercise, preferably heavy, slow physical exercise. Heavy, slow weightlifting is a good way to do it, but relaxing after each set of exercises. Learning to relax the iliopsoas muscles and the spinal erector muscles, both of which, if they are held tight, cause the kidneys and adrenals to be squeezed and hyperactivated. If you've ever been in a car and you are almost in an automobile accident, almost in a car wreck, and you got adrenalized, either frightened or just pumped full of adrenaline, you probably felt how your back tightened up and how you felt your kidneys and your adrenals back there in the middle of your back get squeezed by the muscles on either side of your spine and surging adrenaline into the body. Well, those muscles will stay locked up if you don't do anything to relax them. You can train yourself, either alone or with the help of someone else, to learn to relax those muscles back down and lengthen them so that the kidneys and adrenals release and sink about 1/2 inch or 1 centimeter down in the body back into their relaxed shape. You can also do lots of different forms of breathing techniques. Certain yogic postures are very good for helping to release that area. All sorts of physical things. Dustin says, my kidneys feel very warm a lot of the time. Ideally, your kidneys should feel pretty neutral. Not cold, not freezing cold, but not warm or hot either. Your kidneys, you want them to feel cool, just sort of gently cool, ideally.